When I get off this mountain, you know where I wanna go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico, to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Little Bessie, girl I wanna know. And she told me just come on by if there's anything she could do. I up on Cripple Creek, she sends me. If I spring a leak, she mends me. I don't have to speak, she defends me. A drunker's dream if I ever did see one. Well, good luck had just struck me, and the racetrack I did go. She bet on one horse to win, I bet another to show. Well, the odds were in my favor, I had 5-1. When the ragtime wind came around the track, sure enough we'd win. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me. If I spring a leak, she mends me. If I have to speak, she defends me. A drunken dream if I ever did see one. Hey, how you doing out there, Guitar Heroes? All right, we love the band. 1969. Up on Cripple Creek. Cool little song. Levon Helm's the singer, and he's a great, really bluesy voice. So we've got this intro now. If you are familiar with the song, you hear this drum intro, and you can't really hear a guitar really, other than that curly Q, squealy. I don't know how to that kind of that you hear that guitar. That's pretty much the only one that you hear. Otherwise, pretty much drums and bass. But right at the beginning, if you listen carefully, we have this little riff at the beginning. And we're going to start on the D string. The D string. So we're 3 down from the top. And we're going to start with a open, 2, open, 2, and then I'm going to go to the open G string. But I'm not going to let these ring out. I'm going to stop them. And so I'm just laying my finger back down here just to stop that. So on that D string, open 2, G open, and pop those fingers back down and just stop it. So that's the first part, and then the second one, we're just going to extend that by one note. Open, 2, open, and I just hammer on it, and I think in the song you can barely hear that. You have to really listen hard, so I'm pretty sure that they're just hammering on the G string at the second. D, open 2, G, open 2. So we're going to hit it, and then we're going to hammer on the second one. Okay, and then we're going to play that little sequence twice. Okay, so let's go through from the top. Open 2, open G, open 2, open G, and hammer. I'm just going to hit it so you can hear it. On the 2, on the G string. And that's the little riff. We do that 2 times. Then we go right into the first verse, and we're going to start with an A. Now in this case, I forgot to mention, I'm tuned down a half, and the reason I'm tuned down a half generally is because of singing. Levon sings pretty high, and I'm not sure I got it all in there, and I didn't do that low, that's that stuff here that he does, which is really, really high. So because I'm tuned down a half, it's not going to sound exactly the same. But as long as we're on that subject just for a second, why am I tuned down a half? Well, generally, there's 2 reasons you tune down a half step. One, maybe that's what, well, let's say 3 reasons, okay? Maybe that's what the way the song was. It was tuned down a half. And there are some songs that are tuned down a half. Number 2 is, hey, I can't quite sing it, but I can sing it by tuning down a half, as opposed to changing the key. right? And that happens, and I've done that in plenty of songs too, because I just cannot sing them at all because the guy's singing so high, and I can't mess with the capo really to get that to work, so I just change it to another key. So singing, and the other thing, it's a little bit easier to play tuned down a half because you're softening the strings a little bit because you're loosening them a half a step. Okay, so I don't want to get too much in it. I should probably do a lesson on tuning down a half step in total, but I am tuned down a half, so that means if you're going to play along with an A, it's not going to sound right. You have to tune down a half to be playing along with me. Okay, so we do the little intro, and then we go right into A. When I get off this mountain, you D, know where I want to go. Back to A, straight down the D, Mississippi River to the E, Gulf of Mexico. Back to A2, Lake Child, Louisiana, little D, Bessie, the girl I once knew. Back to A, and she told me just a D, come on by if there's E, anything she could do. And now we're going to go into the chorus. And kind of notice the strum here isn't because I can hear strumming on the song, it's kind of the beat of the song, which is a little bit funky. It's not exactly that, but let me go through it here a little bit. Now you'll be able to hear a little. So it's not a straight strum. It's a little bit of a funky strum. Is probably the easiest way to say it. Let's start with the last line. And she told me just to come on by if there's anything she could do. I won't Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leaf. She mends me. That's D. Back to E. If I speak, I don't have to speak. She defends me. F sharp minor. And remember how we play that. It's the E minor form, slide up 2. It's a drunkard's dream if I ever did G, ever did C1, and then there's a wow, 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 going at the end. I tried to figure out what that was, and I didn't come up lucky there, let's put it that way. So let's go back through this kind of strumming pattern, which is hard to describe, but I can demonstrate. Hopefully not, I can slow it down a little bit. She sends me if I spend a leak. She mends me if I don't speak. She defends me. I don't a dream if I ever did see one. So there's a little bit of the Bo Diddley beat sort of in there. She sends me if I spend a leak. She mends me. I don't have to speak. She defends me. A drunkard's dream if I ever did see one. So take a few minutes and kind of listen to that song and think about how that strumming pattern makes sense to you. And then I'm releasing pressure here too, so you know, and probably even a little bit of palm muting in there that you're hearing. See, it's almost get a little bit of that rhythm with these fingers, the 2 fingers coming on. So this is the way that I do an A, and you probably figured this out already, but you know, traditional A, right, 1, 2, 3 in a row. Okay, I would recommend that you put your index finger in the center and then put these 2 fingers on either side. Why? Couple of reasons. One of them is that you can hammer these 2 fingers on it, but the other reason is that you can anchor this from a D to an A to an E, and this finger never leaves this string. It just goes back and forth. So that's kind of another lesson, so to speak, but I would recommend that you do it that way. So let's go through that chorus again. Start on an A. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me D. If I spring a leak, she sends me E. I don't have to speak, she defends me. F sharp minor, a drunkard's dream if I ever did see one. And the other thing I can say about the F sharp minor, the way I like to slide into this, which makes it a little bit easier, is I like to start with my 2 fingers here on the E minor. I like to slide those in, so I'm going to slide those from the normal position onto the 4th, and then lay my bar down. So it kind of gives me an anchor, right? Rather than just trying to form it, I know these fingers find their way easier to an E minor. Slide her up and then lay the bar down. So just another little tip there. Okay, well there's 5 verses. 5 or is there 6 verses? 5 or 6 verses plus a lodi, lodi. He does that a whole bunch too. And then the chorus. So it's a pretty long song. I just did a couple verses. The verses are all the same, just different words. So there's nothing more complicated than that. So there you go. You know, Up on Cripple Creek, the band, 1969. I think this is the second album. Not on The Wait. I think the first one, The Wait. No, Music from Big Pink, right? That's the first one, 68. Then I think the next one is where this song came from. Well, great song, you know, obviously passed the test of time. Up on Cripple Creek by the band in 1969. Hope you got something out of this lesson. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time.